So about 4 years ago in Hearts of Iron 4 A to Z, a little series I play, you know, every single starting nation in Hearts of Iron 4. Not too sure if you've heard about it, but in my Chinese video, I did a bit of a unspeakable thing that I unleashed upon the game itself. I simply tried to put down as many units as I physically could, and I believe I ended up around 5,000 divisions. But it was Communist China, right? I wasn't really taking the game too seriously. We didn't have too many threats, and I did do it after fighting the Japanese. And the other day, it got me to thinking, what if you actually tried to just spam out as many units as you physically could into this game to the point the game physically probably can't handle it as an actual nation that has some existential threats? Now, of course, if we are going to go ahead and do this, I need to do it as a nation that does have a vast amount of manpower to actually put out into the world. And considering I'm already panning over to the east right here very slowly, look at that little mouse cursor making his way to the Soviet Union. And oh boy, we're going to need the manpower available to us. So if you haven't watched that video, it did take quite a bit of effort to get those 5,000 units down. I think at one point I was actually just spamming a whole bunch of like 1-stack units out, and then I switched the template from the 1 division in them to a full division. I think even then, I still had manpower as China. And again, I do need a lot of manpower today, but I don't want to just waste the manpower. I do want to get the Soviets down to 0 manpower, but also have all my units filled, which is definitely going to be a bit of a challenge at parts, because we will need equipment to put in these units. And, you know, at the same time, we also actually need to stay alive as the Soviets and also have a game. So at the start here, we'll just do the same things you'd usually do as the Soviets. Get prepared for the, you know, industrial might, because we are going to need one hell of an industry. But I think for our production here, we're just going to turn everything else off, bar support equipment, a little bit of artillery, and the rest on guns. Yeah, you know, we've won Hoi 4, artillery only. We've done tanks only, planes only. Now, it's manpower only. So I think we'll make our life a little bit easier here. Just change all of our starting units, bar the very few mountaineers and tanks that, you know, I don't reckon we're going to get too much use out of. We might send some over to Spain or something to get a bit of XP, but we won't really need much use for them. And then from here, this will be our template for now. I think at some point, though, we may have to take this artillery out if we can't keep up production and just replace it with shovels, because obviously we're going to be on the defensive for a lot, but I do still want to play the game seriously. But seriously, to the maximum amount of manpower. Oh, yeah, I think we're also going to have a lot of problem actually getting enough generals for all these armies at points. That is definitely going to be tricky. We're going to have to do a lot of promoting and also recruiting. You know, actually, I've had a change of heart about these tanks. I'm just going to get rid of all of these guys at the start and probably just sell them all on the market, because I think that's going to be worth more for us in the long run here. Yep. Goodbye, tank. Yeah, I feel like we're going to have a very interesting start to, you know, World War II in this scenario, as every side will just be using Russian tanks. Now, whilst we are waiting, obviously, for our plan to come into fruition here, that doesn't mean I can't have a few little side quests. Plus, I guess the army XP will come in handy for the eventual calamity that will be our armed forces. Alright, so I've been, you know, having my fun in the Spanish Civil War down here. If you can tell by my unit experience here, I've mostly just been focusing on getting as much experience as I possibly can, and we have decided to go on Grand Battle Plan. Now, I know what you're thinking. Mass Assault probably makes a lot more sense, and it does, but also, like I said at the start of this, I kind of want to actually win. So whilst I do want an absolutely disgustingly huge army, I also want it to be somewhat decent in multiple different ways, which is a little bit more limited on Mass Assault Doctrine. Speaking of which, I have already pumped out 83 more units. We are up to extensive conscription, and I have a few more in the bank. Also, because I haven't really been focusing on beating Spain, just encircling their units for the XP, I've just noticed that someone's making a few gains up there in the north. So I think we're at the point now there's no more real armies I have to squish from the nationalists. So I'm kind of tempted just to like pull out my army now and see if these guys can actually make a go of it. I kind of doubt they can, but I'm interested for the science of it. Oh, silly me. I was carrying my ice pick over to the mountain in Mexico where it's snowy, and I accidentally fell and it slipped into your head. So after pulling out of Spain, something seems different. Well, after pulling out of Spain. It's going to be really funny if the nationalists win now, but I'm going to pull out of Spain and go straight into Finland now, get them secured, and I'm also starting to annex the Baltics. You know what? I might actually also escalate with Sweden, see if we can actually get lucky here, and get them to make a faction. Perfect. Now, if you're wondering why I'm doing this, and you've never done it before, here's a little trick. So, if Sweden goes ahead, makes the faction with Finland, that technically puts you fighting a major power. And with that, if you're fighting a major power, you can do desperate measures. So we are very much going to go ahead, run that down straight away. So with desperate measures already underway, that means we can do lessons of war very, very quickly and in time for when the Germans go in on us, which means we're not going to have any of our debuffs, which is very handy for me because whilst I am trying to make a bajillion units here, I do want them to be functionable. And for them to be functioning, they need to be decent. And currently we're at 22 width and I'm mostly focusing on defense with them, but they do have equipment in them and they are quite expensive if you're planning to put out 5,000 of them. Finland and Sweden both gone, and the actual prize I'm realistically getting from this that is worth so much is getting rid of all of those debuffs. I mean, that obviously isn't all. We get ourselves a pretty powerful navy from the Swedes, and we are going to puppet them both and take all their resources and factories. Here comes the third army. So, 3 full armies currently in our control, working on the fourth one, and I don't think the Germans are really ready for what's they're about to walk into here. Oh, and there goes our desperate measures too. So yeah, if you're wondering, we now have 384 fully equipped, full, pretty decent defensive units, especially against the AI. These are going to do really good. The only big problem we have is I've only just started building planes because obviously the priority was getting the units out, meaning we could get shredded in the cast department and with our trains as well. This could end up being a bit of a disaster for us and our units could absolutely be nothing compared to the German cast. But I'm hoping the AI hasn't developed a brain so far. Right now, just because I'm a little worried here, and I am going to keep equipping and upgrading my units with the best equipment we can do here. I'm going to set up a line of just really bad Mosins in case things do get real bleak here. Because obviously we do lose our efficiency every time we upgrade these, and we are constantly pumping out troops, which means we can't really, you know, keep halving our production every time, especially if the Germans are about to come in. Hold on a second. That doesn't seem right to me. I mean, I guess that seems right to me, but the China stuff not quite right to me. So the only thing I think we're going to super lack on here is obviously the air. We are not going to be able to get too much done here. Oh, so I think Germany just got a focus, yeah, where they got war goals on every single communist nation in the world, which usually that'd be surprising for me because that obviously means we're going to have to fight through with Sweden. And they're going to declare my puppets. I can't just use them to hold. But that's not that surprising for me because I just have a whole other army completely spare. Okay, big moves from the Germans so far. They've managed to take a single tile off me. The Germans are actually making quite a few gains here. Oh, they've got a whole other tile down there. But I'm really not worried because if you look at how much they're having to expand just to take these singular tiles, why would I be worried? My units cost nothing. So much so that the only reason I'm currently in an equipment deficit is because I'm currently building even more. There you go, just filled out my fourth army. Well, I guess as holds go for Russia, this is probably actually one of the better ones. And my army is not exactly conventional in a few ways, but I think this is as far as the Germans are going to make it. They have stopped. They're still pushing a little bit up there. And I'm also, I've sent Zhukov up to go deal with Scandinavia very quickly, just to get that out the way. I've got my newest army in the works, and I've got a very special boy in charge of it. That's right, Stalin. You get to hold this whole line back here because there's actually no room on the front line for you quite yet. You know, considering my generals are now over here, well, I should probably go ahead and start collapsing a few of them. I think I don't need to actually see this much stuff. I mean, I could also just throw them in other theaters, but I really want to get as many out on one screen as I possibly can here, just to see if the game might collapse in on itself like a dying neutron star. Oh yeah, I don't think there's too much left in the Germans at this point. The Allies are landing. A lot of their stuff is still on the front line, but not as much. And I did just make, I think, a bit of a mistake here and just put a whole bunch of artillery in my front line, which means I'm missing 9,000. I kind of just did that instinctively, completely forgetting I currently have 600 units. Oh, it's about to be real pretty though when I hit the front line on some of these boys in a minute, because I am also, I think, outpacing the, I've got the full green air as well here, so we're going to cast and absolutely run right into them. Oh, that's definitely something right there. I've got 150 factories on artillery currently, pumping out 100, and I'm not even full efficiency. No, just for the hell of it, we're going to bring Stalin up to the front line as well. You get to go there. I mean, honestly, I think we don't even really need to wait for this artillery. I think we can actually outproduce what we will lose here. We're pumping out that much, so I'm just going to hit the go buttons here and see what happens. Yep, the proverbial Russian horde has made its appearance. Oh my god, look at them go. I don't think I need to do any hands-on here. Oh my god, we're just overrunning all their lines. There's genuinely just too much. There is too much for that. I think we're actually just going to encircle every single unit just with the AI. Yep, that is genuinely one of the most insane things I think I've ever done in Hoi 4. You know what I only just realized? I just zoomed out, looked to Spain, and realized it was all for nothing. Now, there are some things in Hoi 4 that I reckon are a bit overkill. You know, making a heavy tank in single player that is just top of the lines MP stats, usually completely overkill. Absolutely decking out a close air support unit with the best tech and getting like 200 tick of cast damage. Overkill. Launching 600 divisions into Germany. Definitely overkill. Well, I guess a big surprise to somebody out there, but there goes the Axis. Now, I'm not going to make any puppets here, and we're not done. I'm still going to go ahead and get those 5,000 units out, even if we're probably not going to fight anyone this point on. I mean, we might. I don't know if the allies are going to hate me or not, but I'm just going to take all this land because eventually I will be getting manpower from it, and I need manpower. We could obviously just do the puppet manpower steel strap, but I want to own all this land directly and just get it pumped into me, because Stalin does obviously get a huge compliance buff bonus if you go down the focus tree, and I do have that, so I'm going to get manpower very quickly. Oh yeah, you know what, can't forget Albania. Ooh, so as peace conference go, that was not horrendous in the slightest. I just realized as well, Japan's still going. I don't think I need to help over there though. Looks like that might be wrapped up pretty quickly. And now for our units, we are just going to put them all under one general and put them on garrison somewhere, just because this is going to make things a little bit easier here on out, especially if we're not actually planning on doing any more fighting. I mean, we may end up fighting. I think the AI, it could possibly pull a surprise maneuver on us here, but I'm just going to start pumping out troops. Now, currently we do have 9 million manpower to work with. I did get a collab government on the Germans beforehand as well, so we have full collab on them, meaning we get all the manpower we can possibly get. I'm going to knock this down to civilian oversight so that this picks up as well, and we are gonna start pumping. Okay, that knocked out half of the manpower I currently have available, and we can put out another 447 divisions. Bear in mind though, it's gonna cost us. I actually thought it'd be way more than that. So apparently Germany's still alive. Where? No way. How did you manage to... How did you do it? You know, Alex. How the hell did you manage to do that, though? You know, I'm almost impressed. Well, you know, I think a whole bunch of these units are actually ready to pop out. So we'll set that to 1, just see how many we had left. We only had 15 left on that. Okay, well, there's after 1,000 units, and these are actual units. Well, you know, they're missing some support companies, but yeah, they're units. But you know, I do still have 4 million manpower up there. Just maybe a few more, right? I've come up with a bit of a funny idea, because we are out of manpower at this point. And I do know where we can get a little bit more with our amazing compliance gain buff. So we're just going to have to borrow a few units from my giant stack. Well, now we actually got that as well before they blew up the Chinese United Front as well. So we should get all of China out of this. Actually, hold on one sec. Communist China actually still broke out, even though they had joined the battle. Okay, sure. Hopefully they don't join the Allies, because they can do that. Oh, actually, no, they can't, because they need to actually be fighting somebody that the Allies are fighting. So we should be good there. I reckon, I don't even know, I just went to actually like up us to like all out serve, and I'm never going to be able to do that because estimate enemy strength ratio of 75% more or compared to our army, which that's just not happening while I look at my 911 units down there. Oh, China just declared on the state of Japan there. So I guess I can get Japan in my faction. I completely forgot about that border as well, but I don't think I'm going to have to worry too much there. If anything, that just means there's less troops over here on the front line. Now, whilst we probably won't get as much manpower as I got just playing the PRC last time, I reckon we're going to get quite a bit. Guess I can also return these guys back to the pile. Oh, you know what? I actually completely forgot I have 395 divisions ready for deployment. So since I got a collab on the Chinese, we already have the manpower bonus. We can't really get a lot, but for China, and the fact we've gotten all of China, it's a pretty good amount. I mean, 14%, definitely nothing to put your nose up at. And on top of that, I think it's time we actually go down mass assault to get the manpower bonus from over there as well. So yeah, that's another 5% at the bottom there. I don't know, do I actually have enough to get down there? Oh, so close. Would be a shame if I had 1,462 units to hit the exercise button on. And okay, we've got the 2,003 units deployed right now, and like, oh okay. Some funny stuff going on. If I actually zoom in really close sometimes, all the units just like disappear for a second. Oh, look at them all exercising. Yeah, definitely some funny stuff going on with the game right now. I don't think it was 100% ready for somebody to do something so unhinged. Yeah, sometimes when I just zoom in on them, they're just not there. Oh, look at that. Look at the little shadows. You can see them from space. When I played the last time I did this with the 5,000 units as China, what we got up to was like 90 million manpower in the field. We've got 24 million in the field right now. But again, these are actual units. For the most part. Surely I've got enough stuff to actually just like put, you know, a few more support companies in here. Oh, actually, yeah. Game didn't like that. I'm sure we will fill that stockpile shortage very quickly, considering I'm currently pumping out 320 a day. Oh man, I didn't even think about those Mosins. Those Mosins in the factory are getting put. I'm getting 5,000 Mosins a day. Because the Yugos are actually independent and in their own faction, you know, I could do something really funny here. I could declare on them and then just send the horde in and see what happens. I imagine if I put these guys on a front line, though, we're about to see a lot of supply issues. Tell you what, before I send them all over, we'll build a couple supply hubs. I mean, I have the industry to build quite a few, so I might as well put them down. Yeah, I thought maybe the AI would finally accept the demand Balkan submission. I've never got a single nation, I think, to ever accept this. And considering I have 2,000 units, I guess that doesn't play into it. But that will give me my goal on the Yugos. And I think the supply hubs, for the most part, are all done. How horrendous is this going to be? Just watching my little horde of men. My game's... Oh, okay, yep. PC's going very loud right now. Probably can't hear it. Mic's probably not picking up. But it does sound like a V8 engine is going off in my ear. Oh yeah, that's a few frame drops right there. Look at them go. They're not even all here yet. Okay, let's tactical get the strap redeploy on everyone there. And I guess the supply hubs didn't really help, because I'm seeing a lot of bad supply there still. Oh yeah, you thought that was done? Yeah, I just got myself 3 million more manpower. So let's get another 500 units to the front. Oh god. Oh god. Oh lord. Okay. Game don't like that. Okay, what are your bets that this will make any progress whatsoever on the Yugos here? Or will it just go, you know, will they not even be able to push? Because these guys do have a 100% penalty from the general, but doesn't mean the field marshal's affected, so in you go. Yeah, the go button is go. Look at the green. Look at the green. There's 2,000 Soviet units. Oh, we got the first breakthrough with 2 units right there. Go, go, go. I think the sheer amount of units are what is overwhelming here. As soon as we get a breakthrough and they're free, I imagine it's going to go pretty quickly. They're having horrendous battle stats. I imagine they're not doing like anything, which is why they aren't moving there, but we are winning everywhere. Well, I tell you who ain't winning right now. It's my CPU and the fan on top of it. Oh, she's struggling. She is struggling at the moment. Now, I don't want to say that was a resounding success. It did work. only problem realistically being there is my my CPU temperatures. I'm looking on the left there, seem pretty high. You know, just for a quick, I guess, thumbnail shot here, I'm gonna put every single unit on one tile in Moscow. So, let's go see them once again. Yep, there you go. PC fans turned right on up. Oh wow, supply issues really bad. You can't actually see the amount of units in there because obviously it's too many. I wonder if I can get like the supply to work. What if we just surround Moscow with supply hubs? That should put a dent in it, right? Oh, I guess you can only it says 1,000 units are there, so either I'm missing 1,000 somewhere. They've entered into a nether portal to get to Moscow. That is the maximum amount you can actually see in Hoi 4 on one tile, which, you know, I've never actually, I think, gone out of my way to figure out. Let's maybe just spread them out in one tile in Moscow. And let's see. Well, projectile vomited them everywhere. If you're wondering about the equipment losses here, by the way, for the past 12 months, I think attrition has been pretty bad. Oh man, that's kind of unsettling. Just like looking at my screen now, they're just kind of pulsating. They're pulsating all over the map. Really weird. Like if I just zoom out from here, all those units disappear. I guess they go into their separate big blobs all over there, but then I just have this big horde over here that just stays. Yeah, I think we're learning a thing or two about the Hoi 4 back workings of its engine and its capabilities. Yeah, actually, because I've now got all the manpower in China, technically, I should just go ahead and put the collab down and start stealing their puppeted ones. Yeah, that was definitely worth it. China's got so much manpower laying about, especially if they're all unified. They got 1 million, so I can just add even... I actually can't add more of them because I need to wait. There's the first 500 Chinese units out. Go ahead, take a left over there. Just past the burnt out corpse of my PC, you'll find the rest of you fellas. Look at her. Do you think I can milk out like 10,000 units? We've got to at least double the amount we did 4 years ago. I've been spamming. I've been getting as many Chinese units out as I can to add on to the horde here, and we're up to 6,441. The PC is not liking it. It's getting almost unplayable, but I think we could squeeze out a few more before this thing explodes. Oh yeah, you want to see something fun with it? If I press tab now, oh sorry, and then do this. Oh. What does that mean? We've had to do something sacrilegious. I've actually had to take some manpower out of my individual units here because I ran out of manpower and I wasn't able to get actually any more of China's because you do have to put some of your own manpower in, and they've only got 2 million left on top of that as well. But maybe it's enough that we can just squeeze out the extra like 3,700, 300 we need or whatever to get to 10k. So if I've done the math correctly here and there aren't any like random AI units in there, there you go. 10,000 units, and the little lag that should tell you everything. Oh my god, it's unplayable. It's broken. Oh, look at that. When I do the old alt tab, like, ooh. Well, this is definitely one way to spend your evening, I could tell you that much. I've been here for probably way too long doing this, and I've hit my 10k units, and I'm done. The entirety of the Soviet Union is in fact in the army. Well, actually, I did have to take some manpower there, so I can put some back in because we got 5 million spare right now. Added stuff back into the template, but I think the game is so laggy, it can't actually register that manpower going into the units. Yeah, I think we're truly in unprecedented times for yeah, we're definitely done. I could unleash this horde, but I just don't think the game could actually handle these guys moving. Should I try put them all on one province? I will try that again. Okay, fellas, it's your last mission. We're all having a big party in Moscow, and apparently everyone in the Soviet Union is invited. We're gonna hit the Strat redeploy button. I'm gonna unpause, and I imagine, yep, okay, game no move. Game no move, look at the time. Game completely... I think it's crashed. Oh, it came back. It came back. I had to zoom out, though, but they're moving. Oh, that's bad. We're frozen again. Yeah, they can't make it to Moscow. Every time I even get unpaused for a second, it just freezes for about 5 minutes. I move a few hours forward, freezes again. So I'm not going to bother doing that. But yeah, that is definitely one way to play Hoi 4. Don't ever do this. But I guess if you enjoyed the video, this was one hell of a very weird ride in Hoi 4. And I'm glad I've quite literally doubled what I did 4 years ago. So maybe 4 years from now, I'll have a good enough PC to get 20,000 units in Hoi 4. Please remind me. But yeah, I guess if you enjoyed this, leave a like, subscribe down below, and please, if you feel like supporting the channel, I guess, become a member or something, because I could really use a new CPU today. It's gotten quite bad.